All right, let's dive into something pretty fascinating. We're going to talk about how the world you see on the outside is constantly being painted by what's going on inside your head. And to do that, we have to talk about a strange pair of glasses. Glasses that you might be wearing this very second and not even know it.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Are you really seeing things as they are right now? Or is your perception being, well, tinted by something you can't quite see? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the answer you'll find is anything but. You see, the thing is, it's almost like we're all walking around with our own unique pair of glasses on. And these aren't your typical prescription lenses. No, these glasses color your entire reality. And the craziest part, most of the time, we completely forget they're even on our face. Okay, so how in the world does this actually work? Well, it all comes down to our emotions. They're so incredibly powerful that they literally act as filters, fundamentally changing how we experience the world from one moment to the next. I mean, isn't it wild how the exact same world can feel like two totally different planets depending on your mood? Just think about your commute to work. When you're in love, you're wearing those rose-colored glasses, and a traffic jam, hey, it's just more time to jam out to your favorite song. But when you're angry, that same exact traffic jam feels like a personal attack on your very soul. Same road, same cars, completely different reality. Now, let's talk about one color in particular, fiery red. When we're wearing the red glasses, our whole perception gets warped. Everything starts to look like a threat. Every weird look is a judgment. Every question feels like an attack. The world suddenly becomes this stage for some over-the-top drama. And guess who's the star? You are. And, this whole thing isn't just some quirky metaphor we made up. It actually has a name in psychology. It describes what happens when our thoughts stop being just thoughts and start feeling like cold, hard facts. This phenomenon, it's called cognitive fusion. So this state is called fusion, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when we get so tangled up with, so fused to our thoughts that we can't tell where they end and we begin. You don't just have the thought, this is scary, you become a scared person living in a scary world. And glued is the perfect word for it. It's not just that you're wearing the glasses, it feels like you literally can't take them off. That red-tinted, dramatic, threatening view becomes your one and only reality. So the big question is, how do we get them unstuck?
Well, here's the good news. There is a way. We can actually learn to take the glasses off. We can learn to create some space to see our thoughts for what they are, which are just little events in our mind, not necessarily the gospel truth. And this is the awesome power of what's called diffusion.
Diffusion is basically the antidote to fusion. It's the simple but not always easy act of stepping back and just observing your thoughts. You see them, you can even say hi to them, but you don't have to buy into what they're selling. You don't get swept away. It's all about creating a little bit of breathing room between you and your mind. And here's how you can start doing it, like today. First, just notice the thought when it pops up. That's it. Second, just acknowledge it. No fighting it, no judging it. Just kind of go, there's that I'm gonna fail story again. And finally, you just let it pass. Imagine it's a cloud drifting across the sky. You don't have to grab onto it, just watch it go. This whole idea of our perception being a filter, it's not just in psychology textbooks. It is everywhere, especially in music. You could say that every song is a little world built through a different pair of colored glasses. Just look at this. Mad World by Tears for Fears? That's the perfect soundtrack for someone wearing those dark, anxious glasses. Total opposite end of the spectrum, you've got Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. That is pure, hopeful, rose-pink glasses right there. And a song like Bohemian Rhapsody? Wow, that is a wild ride through some seriously dramatic, fearful, fiery red-tinted glasses.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, which is fusion, and we've talked about the goal, which is diffusion. But what's the actual practical tool we can use to get there? Well, it really all boils down to one powerful practice: mindfulness.
You can think of mindfulness as your own personal lens cleaner, right? When a negative thought smudges up your view of the world, mindfulness is the practice of gently wiping it away so you can see clearly again. It's your mental reset button. When everything feels overwhelming, you can just hit it, reboot your mind, and get a fresh start. And the ultimate goal here isn't to only see the world through rose-colored glasses. That's not realistic. It's about being able to see through all the lenses. Life is full of so many different flavors and colors. The whole point is to be able to experience them all. The joy, the sadness, the excitement, and to savor all of it, even the bittersweet stuff.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Take just a second right now and ask yourself, what color are my glasses? Because just noticing the filter, that's the very first step to seeing the world and yourself with brand new eyes.